little bit of context. Yeah, there are two stores in Newfoundland in Petty Harbour, and one was just a cool way to sort of describe the differences, you know, the kind of foolish differences between one side and the other, and in some cases it was better on one side, sometimes better on the other, but they were divided is the point I was trying to make, I suppose. And also, it also sort of points to the habit, or the sort of the way things are. And if you grow up in, I think, in many small towns in Newfoundland, you come out of your house and you turn left or right to go to the place you go to, because that's the way you go. And that's because that's the way people have always gone that way. But why don't you just go around the corner? No, we go this way. And I've just, in the book, I've just described how lovely Herbie's store is. And it's still there, Herbie's old shop on the non-Catholic side of Petty Harbour. And how, you know, I just come out, it's a beautiful thing, and, you know, sort of the section sort of ends with Marguerite, who's still there. Thanks, Alan Doyle, Marguerite would say with a lovely smile. Bring back your happy face soon. I loved Herbie's. Too bad I almost never got to go there as a kid. As noted, Herbie's was on the Protestant side, and we almost never shopped there. No one ever told me I shouldn't. No one ever said we had to stay on the Catholic side to spend our money. We just did. Like many things in my young life in Petty Harbour, we did things one way because they had always been done that way. When my mother sent me to the store, I didn't even ask which one to go to. I knew she was sending me to Harbour Grocery, or Maureen's as we call it. I only got to go to Herbie's when Maureen's was closed, which was never, or if I went to Maureen's and she didn't have what Mom asked me to get, which was almost never, or if word got around that a health inspector was banging on Maureen's door to try to get in, which happened more than I care to say. Maureen was old when I was young. She lived in the back of her store. She had a son, but by the time I was about 10, he had moved away to go to school. I confess I don't know for sure what kind of living arrangement she had in the back of her store, but I suspect she had a kitchen and a bedroom. She never spent a lot of time back there anyway. Instead, she spent every waking hour behind the counter of her store, watching a small black and white TV about 18 inches from her face. Most often, customers who walked in and stood in front of her counter were greeted by her right ear, because she was always facing that TV. Harbour Grocery was manned, or womaned, by Maureen and Maureen alone. I must have seen her in the store thousands and thousands of times, but I never once did I see her outside of it. Not one time, I swear. To enter Maureen's store, you had to climb a set of uneven, broken, grey concrete steps. They were in such a state of disrepair that it was tough to find a tread that was level. In winter months, the holes and crevasses in the steps filled with water and froze into patches of treacherous black ice. This would have been far less the problem if the steps had a handrail of any kind going on. Slipping on Maureen's front stairs was a common event. One false move and you were flying feet first over the sides of the steps and down arse first onto the rocky ground below. If you happened to break a glass bottle on your landing, there was no sense in asking Maureen for a replacement or a refund. That's your own stupid fault. She knows the steps are slippery. She knows the steps are slippery. Now get out of my store, you bastard and Doyles. Or Doyles, as it was pronounced in Petty Harbour. Doyles. Get out of my store, ye bastard and Doyles. Ye bastard and Doyles. That's what she called me and my whole family, cousins and all, from as early as I can remember. What she meant by this christening, I cannot say. Did she mean we were all bastards? That our parents were not married? This was clearly not true. Maybe she was making a reference to the generation of musicians in my family, who she perhaps presumed went around knocking up gals and making piles and piles of bastard children. I don't know. You sure this is the part you want me to read? Maybe her crankiness towards us had something to do with the fact that my uncles, the town musicians, once made up a song about her to the tune of Good Night, Irene. I won't provide you with the entire rendition here, but towards the ultimate verse, there's a mention of Sex Machine, which rhymed quite nicely with Good Night, Maureen, good night. Yeah, this maybe have some of the reasons to do with her dislike of us bastard and dogs. first meeting.
I'm so happy. We're still
If only all firsts went as well as that one.